Do y'all like that peaceful timer? What's up, everyone? This is Harry the Big Dog with the DJ interview. Always on Tuesday, 8ish Eastern Standard Time. What's going on? Put in the chat, definitely put in the chat who you are and where you are coming from. We got a special episode. We are going west. We are going west, West Coast here. The DJ interview is in full effect. Chris Gloss is checking in. What is up, bro? How you doing today? Hey, I'm curious to know, did any of you guys know that today is World DJ Day? Type in the chat if you did. I actually just found it out earlier today. So I'm a little behind with the days, but yeah, this is World DJ Day. And it happens to fall on the DJ interview day. So let me bring in my next guest. He is one of the DJs that's killing it in the West Coast. I met him through the online NAM. For those of you DJs who know what NAM is, I met him through there and we just kind of connected and clicked. I reached out to him and he reached back out. He was like, yo, I'll do it. Then he checked a few things out. I get people checking me out all the time. He watched a few videos. He was like, I got it. I'm in. So let's bring in our West Coast DJ. What's up, DJ Cali Los? What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? What's up, Harry? What's up, man?
I love those turntables.
Did
you stage that just for this DJ interview?
Oh yes. They were UPS ordered.
Oh man, what's going on? How is it over there in the West Coast?
It's a little windy. It's a little windy, but it's not bad. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so in California on the West Coast when it rains, it's like we freak out. It's like it could be like a drizzle. Like, oh crap, it's a storm.
Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
But everything's good, man. I'm really happy to be on this show, and thank you for the invite.
I'm getting messages saying it sounding like some hissing is going on.
Oh whoa!
I don't know.
Is it coming from me?
I don't think so. So we gonna go with it.
All right, cool.
Anyway, hopefully that corrects itself. Let me make sure all of our settings are set.
1, 2, mic check.
Mic check. And I can turn it down just a tad so it won't be so blazing. But yes, today is World DJ Day. Did you know that, bro?
I did not. It was really. Well, all I knew today was we're celebrating Biggie today.
Yeah. Maybe Biggie was a DJ back in the day, and they named a World Day after him. Oh man, what's up, everyone? What is up, bro?
Hey.
My boy Internet. Wait.
Sound better out there?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
He said it sounds better. I think I turned it down. Maybe it was too hot.
Gotcha.
B-I-G. Right. So, all right, let's get this thing going, bro. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And what I want to do is first get your name and your government name if you want to reveal it. Get when you started this DJ thing and how you got your name, because it's real unique.
All right. You got it. You got it. All right. Well, name is DJ Cali Los. Government name is Carlos Velasquez. Born and raised in California, you know. So the reason behind the name, when I was growing up, like I always had, my name's Carlos, so they would call me Los. And as years progressed, I ended up one day like, you know what? Like it was such a generic name out there. I wanted to
Hmm.
change it. And when I changed it, for some reason, I'm like, I thought about like California, Carlos. I'm like, why not Cali and Los put together? And Cali Los was born. And from there, it took off. And I never went back from there, never went back to changing the name. So it sucked, man.
It stuck. So, yo, before we get started, we got a few check-ins.
All right, all
We got
right.
Chris Gloss checking in.
What up?
We got DJ P Nice checking in.
Yeah, P nice.
We got, let me do the hands, the international DJ Tommy Lee checking in. P Nice is saying, how you doing, bro? All is well, all is well. And we got the Jason Hodge checking in. What's up, Jason?
What up, Jason?
So, when did you start this DJ journey? What made you really get into it? And I think you started back in the day, and you was born on vinyl, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And for those who are watching, these are not fake. They're not cardboard, and they're not rented either. No, but to answer your question, like the way it happened was, my family always grew up with with music around them. They had a wide range of collecting records, especially my father. And one day I just saw him in the living room. I was probably like 4 or 5 at the time. And next thing I know, I'm like, what is this? And I was so intrigued what a turntable was. And I kept looking at it over and over, but I wasn't allowed to touch it. So one day, he's taking me to go get like a Burger King. I can't believe I still remember this. So I'm getting Burger King. And this is when, I don't know a lot of people out there. I'm kind of like dating myself right now, but if you guys remember this old sitcom show, it was a puppet character. It was called Alf. Now, during the popularity of this show, Burger King did a promotion. And during this promotion, the kids' meal, this is where kids' meals had cool toys. It had a cutout vinyl on the kids' meal bag.
Oh, yo.
And I was like, whoa. And it was like an Elf song, right? So I was just like, whoa, you can cut this out? And I cut it out, and I was just looking at it like, wait, it's like a piece of paper. And you put on a record. When I put that on the record and I put a needle on it, it blew my mind. And I was just like, how does that work? But that's music. And after that, it was game over. And after that, I wanted to know what turntables were and stuff like that.
Oh, that is mad cool. So I remember all them cutouts on the cereal boxes.
Yeah, cereal boxes. Yep.
They had them. They had them in different various places.
And if you don't remember, like cereal boxes used to have actual cool toys in there.
Yeah.
I remember my favorite. It wasn't the best cereal, but it was the coolest toys you can get with it. The Hot Wheels cereal. You get literally a die-cast Hot Wheel inside.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when nothing was really dangerous?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't full of lead or anything.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee said he loved Alf.
Yeah. I remember? Oh,
yeah, rent a prop.
Yeah. Rent a prop.
Oh, yo, so type in the chat some questions you have. We're gonna go for a little bit and then answer questions. But so now, what year are we talking again?
Oh, so see, I was born in 82, so I'm thinking like 87, 88, around that time.
Okay.
No, wait, well, yeah, 88, 89, yeah, around that time, 88. I was a young buck. I can't believe I remember this right now, but yeah. So around that time, I was like, oh wow, what is this? Like, I'm so intrigued about this, and I don't know if a lot of people remember this. Like, ask your older brothers or older sisters. or your parents, but everyone had that one particular stereo like home entertainment system. It was
Yep.
silver with a turntable on top, with one tape deck, with an 8-track, and 2 white wall wooden speakers. That was like the ultimate like 80s like entertainment package.
That was the system back in the day.
Yeah. But I remember that like just being into my family, and then one day like I remember I found them in storage, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna plug these suckers in again. And I was a little bit older by then, and I couldn't afford turntables, so all I was doing was getting 2 tape decks and kind of like mixing them together.
Right.
And I
like
remember
a lot of others.
remember
Yep.
and I remember like
yep.
I was looking at the 8-track, and I'm like, oh, Dad, what's an 8-track? He's like, oh, it used to work. I'm like, how come it doesn't work no more? He's like, you stuff crayons in it. I thought it was a drawer to put stuff in there.
So you're the one who broke it, huh?
Yeah, but everything else, the turntable is in great condition.
Yeah.
But
so now,
yeah.
Fast forward to your first turntable.
So fast forward to my first actual official turntable.
What year?
I was 15 at the time, and I finally could afford like my official turntables, but it wasn't like nothing. It wasn't like no techniques. It was like no like direct drive turntables. It was full on belt drive. And
belt drives.
And they were Geminis. Yeah. Man, I thought it was little hamsters running inside that turntable because it was like. Brr, brr. But yeah, and when the feeling when you finally get like, it's like, oh, this is mine. Like this is my turntable, and you place that first vinyl on there. It's like, oh.
Do you remember your first vinyl record you bought?
My first vinyl record. Well, my dad did pass some records down to me, but my first official vinyl record that I bought was "Who Shot Ya" by Notorious B.I.G.
Okay, so this had to be in the 90s, 93, 94.
Right around that. That's when it came out, but I couldn't, I couldn't buy. I was like 8 around 8 or 9 around that time, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
So we're talking a couple of years later.
Yeah. So I'm, I was 16 at the age of like, at the year of like 99. Yeah, 99, 98, around that time.
Okay.
So you officially like told my older homies who can drive back then, be like, hey, take me to the record shop. and I bought doubles. I was like, oh, and
nice.
Then at the same time also I also got rest in peace to Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear remix.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's being from the West Coast buying East Coast records, but the beats were so hard.
Right. I was just about to say that. What was, because I know we all want to know what's from the East Coast, at least I do. Yeah. What was it like, the music, like starting out there? I know I went out there about 88, 89, and I heard Ice-T on every other song.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember like my pops, he always had like, it was an NWA, and I remember like when the album, it was 93 when the album Doggy Style came out, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when Doggy Style came out, like he had it in his car, and I remember like he's like, oh, you can't play that because it has a lot of explicit language on it, right? So one day when he was sleeping, I grabbed the CD. This when CDs were like first coming out,
Uh-huh.
I grabbed the CD, put it in my little stereo in my room. I listened to that album from beginning to end, and I'll tell you this: I thought I felt like I felt like Snoop Dogg painted me a picture throughout that whole album, and I'm like, this is like West Coast of the fullest.
You felt grown, huh?
Oh yeah, but grown and like whoa, mind blowing.
Man, so East Coast music, what besides Snoop and Dre and NWA, mm-hmm. Who were you guys playing? Because I'm from New York, and a lot of others here are from New York area or the tri-state area, which is New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Right.
And you had your music within, but then you had your music that actually made it out. Who else was there that we probably don't know?
That was like popular playing during that time? I always remember listening to Redman. you know,
Mm-hmm.
Brick City.
Yeah.
Obviously the Wu-Tang was a big
Oh, so y'all was adopting East Coast stuff.
Yeah, we were like definitely listening to a lot of Wu-Tang and obviously like you know what album that like a lot of my DJ friends out here still like say like man Nas Illmatic, you know.
Illmatic, yeah.
Yeah, like then when hearing Nas and you know because all those beats were like those boom bap beats, like that like and I guess the lyrics they were saying, the stories that they were saying, and I remember getting into a lot later on into a Mobb Deep. I remember Mobb Deep came out.
Yeah.
And that was blowing my mind too. And like, you know, I me personally, I always liked Method Man and Redman. I always liked their stuff. I remember listening to a lot of Busta too.
Okay, so you guys pretty much took the East Coast music and adopted that. Besides, you know, your main ones, your Snoop and NWA, which you was too young to listen to anyway.
But it's funny too because I remember the whole thing that happened with the whole East Coast West Coast beef.
Yeah.
I remember I'm like, yeah, you know, West Coast has Dog Pound, East Coast has Mobb Deep. You know, we have Tupac, they have Nas, or like and Biggie, or like, you know. And I remember like I would make like little mixtapes of like West Coast groups versus like the East Coast groups.
Uh-huh.
But it was all love though, because it was all for me. It was just like like
right,
the energy and the music.
I think it was like, you know, only real drama for certain peoples.
Yeah.
But we enjoyed the battle.
Yeah, we enjoyed the battle.
People lost their lives over it.
Yeah,
so it wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
But okay, so you got the turntables. Mm-hmm. You started getting some records. When did you actually first do your first party? And then when did you get your first paying party?
Okay. My first party, I was, I believe I was a junior. Yeah, in junior high school, my first party. And this is when people started getting to know, like, oh, there's a DJ in the high school. And I was like, yeah, I'll do a party, you know, I'll do your party. So I ended up doing my first party for my friend. I'm grabbing my parents' receivers from their entertainment center. grabbing what little pieces, you know, like forming it like Voltron. Then I finally set it up and I'm like, woo. The funny part is I only DJ'd for like maybe an hour, then the cops showed up and shut it down. So that was my first experience, but it was still kind of like, yeah, it was still kind of cool.
Now, did you get paid for that? Did you get paid for that?
I didn't get paid for that one. So, right. So fast forward to my senior year, right?
Okay.
I found out that the dance teacher, well, she knew that I was a DJ, and she was like, hey, listen, my daughter is turning 16, and I want you to DJ. You say you're a DJ, I'll pay you, and I want to see what you can do. I'm like, oh, really? Yeah, let's do it. Like, you want to be professional? Let's do it. I'm like, okay. Wait, how much am I supposed to charge? She's like, you tell me how much you're worth. And I'm like, and I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, I'm thinking like $200. She goes like, okay. She's like, I want you to DJ for 2 hours. I'm like, all right. And like me, $200 at the age of like 17. I'm like, yeah. You know?
That was a lot of money back then.
You know? So I go and set it up. I DJ it. And she goes like, good. She's like, you did good. Like you're learning how to, you know, I did good for being my first paid gig, but I was still a student learning everything. Like,
yeah.
You know, reading the crowd, which is a key thing, by the way. So from there, the best advice she ever gave me was like, okay, now I want you to take this advice. I want you to make business cards, promote yourself, and do something simple. She's like, take this money and put it in your business. And that right there, and I'm like, I took that advice and I said, thank you. I'm like, I took that. So I started making business cards. So my senior year, I'm passing them out. I'm like, hey guys, I DJ. And I started getting like little small gigs here and there. And by the time I was graduating, summer came around, I was like DJing more.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
That's summertime. That's prime time for the DJs.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. So now we're gonna get into some little personal stuff. What was your worst DJ experience?
Woo! Oh, I still remember that one.
just one. It could have been many, but just one good one.
Okay, here we go. My worst one was I finally got hired to do my first wedding, and when I did my first wedding, I'm like, cool, like, all right, like we got this, like, I need to borrow my dad's truck to put my equipment in because I got to bring more stuff. So as I'm putting all stuff, I show up, cool, I'm there, and and it was like open bar, and I'm getting drinks and stuff, and there's a point where you got to be professional, and I learned that the hard way. Because I'm like, oh, this is cool. They're so nice here. They're just giving me drinks and food. And I remember I was like playing a bunch of stuff, and like I was off beat. I didn't know how to read a crowd. And I remember at the end of that day, I was like, oh man, like, I think karma bit me in the ass later that day. But because I remember it was catered. And the catering people were like, hey, we have some food left over. And I'm like, you want to take some? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I'm all excited. I'm a little tipsy too. So I put it in my dad's car. I put like, it was like barbecue stuff. So it was chicken, barbecue breast, chili beans. Cool. I put it in all these trays. So I'm driving with my buddy. My buddy's helping me. And I'm driving, and we're all excited, like, yeah, that was a good gig. Me knowing that I was like, it was a horrible gig. Next thing I know, I take a turn getting off the freeway. One, I shouldn't even been driving. And two, I start hearing something, and I'm like, I told my buddy, I'm like, you smell that? He goes like, yeah, I smell food. I'm like, yeah, but why is it so strong? I'm like, you're right.
Knew where that was going. Oh man.
So next thing I know, I'm like, you know what? We pulled up to my place, and I'm like, my parents' place, and I'm like, well, we're here. Like, oh, what is that smell? The tray might be open. I open up the passenger side door in the back. All the chili beans start pouring out. The whole tray spilled all over my dad's truck in the back. So all the money I made, I had to take his truck and get it detailed.
Get it cleaned. Oh man. Jason said, that's growing up the hard way.
Yeah. I still smell the chili beans, guys.
Oh man.
Yeah. So
wow.
That was lesson learned.
That's big time. So now take us to where you actually did the switchover from analog to digital.
So the switchover from analog to digital.
In what year?
I want to say it was around, I don't know the specific time, but I want to say around 2006 and 7, maybe. I want to say around that time. I remember my buddy telling me like, hey, there's something called Serato Scratch Live. And I'm like, huh? What is it? He's like, you can all the MP3s that you've been collecting, off these these bootleg sites. You can mix them on turntables. I'm like, no. Because I remember around this time, CDJs were kind of like dominating a little bit too.
Yeah.
And I never liked them. I was like, oh, I'm like, okay, but I don't like that. I don't want to carry a bunch of CDs. I'd rather break my back carrying milk crates. So I was like, what is this? So he ended up getting it. And I'm like, whoa, this is a crazy program. I'm like, how much is this? It's like, oh, it's $700. I'm like, I forgot how much it was. And I'm like, oh man. I'm like, I'll use yours for right now. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, I need to get one now. So around 2007 and the end of 2007, I finally saved up some dough and did the transition of doing Serato.
Now, when did you get comfortable enough to use the Serato and stop bringing vinyl? Because I know I've had DJs here that still brought their vinyl as a comfort while in transition. So when did you get comfortable?
You know what? Well, it's funny because I still do to this day bring at least one vinyl record just in case. Just in case in my bag. Yes, but it has like certain just like party breaks on it, just in case we have to do a quick transition.
Right.
But nowadays it's like, you know, technology does that so quickly for you. But I don't know, man. Technology one day might just go boop.
Yeah.
So I would have a record ready.
So now,
yeah, I want to say like when I got finally comfortable, like be like, okay, I don't have to carry a bunch of records, was like maybe like a year and a half after being into it, you know?
wow.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to learn Serato?
That's a really good question. No one's actually asked me that before. I want to say maybe like to be honest, like when I was on it, I was like, oh, I kind of got the principle of how it worked. But what I learned more from it was learning troubleshooting throughout the year when it was out, when I was messing with it. And when I troubleshooted, I would learn little notes. And I was telling my friends who had it before me how to do a workaround certain things. Like,
oh, okay.
You're sort of like, oh, if it's giving you a bad signal, your RCAs might be loose or bad, your needle's dirty, you know. And so I want to say maybe within a year I was getting it down, or maybe.
Okay. I've had from 3 weeks to 5 years.
Yeah, gotcha.
To where people actually got comfortable.
I think within the year, I got comfortable, but I wasn't doing any live sets yet.
Okay.
I wanted to be ready before to go out and bring out this whole new program, this whole new software to the public, and like DJ, be comfortable with it, not worry. You don't see me sweating on stage or at my gig.
So some highlights when I was texting back and forth with you the other day, you were at a party.
Yeah.
So explain that a little. We kind of jumping around now.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. So I was at I do booking over here in the West Coast in California, over here at this city in Calabasas. I've been booking there for about 10 years. And that's where when you hit me up, I was there. You know, like, oh, I'm at this party, this private event thing they had there. It was small because obviously we're still under this whole pandemic, and it was cool being back. Like it was a trip, just because like, whoa, like you felt like out of, you know, like when you've been on a long vacation. You're like, oh wow, there's people here around me now.
Some people are still on that vacation.
Yeah, I feel So when I was there, I was like, oh man, like it was cool. Like it felt good. It felt good to be back.
You didn't get drunk or nothing, did you?
No. I'm too old for that.
You learned your lesson now, huh?
Oh yeah. I want to save money, not waste it.
So now jumping backwards, do you stream?
Excuse me. Get some water real quick. I've had streamed before. I have done some events. Funny you asked because sorry. Funny you asked. I just did a streaming show last weekend up over there by Santa Barbara area. It was at a studio and it was pretty cool. It was called the Los Amigos Show, and I did that. And I did a set over there, and it was cool streaming like that. I've done a few here and there. With right at the beginning of the pandemic, I was streaming for a little bit, but then again, all this copyright, Facebook shut down, IG shut down. Then by the time that Twitch came around,
don't go there. They don't want you.
Yeah, seriously. Then when Twitch came around, I wanted to do Twitch a little bit, but I kind of like lost interest. I might be back, you know.
Yeah,
it is what it is now.
Yeah, don't do there. You know, I'm getting ready to start. I actually started DJing again, and I'm gonna start a show on Mixcloud, and what I want to do is invite other DJs, and we'll just go.
Yeah,
I'm still faking it right now, but oh, Chris is saying that where you are is a wealthy area in California.
Yeah, it is. Too rich for my blood. Too rich for my blood. Everyone knows that that's the Kardashian and where Drake lives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the spot where Kanye lives and all that. well, he's up in Wyoming now, but.
So now, what type of music are you still doing mainly East Coast music? Did you kind of switch into the EDM or any crazy things?
Well, I like with me, I like to call myself an open format DJ. I'll play from anything from like R&B through like Motown, like obviously my West Coast, the G stuff. I like playing a little bit of like EDM house music, more like Chicago funky style house music. But I have a wide range. Now, if you ask me like, oh, well, what's in your car right now listening, I'm probably listening to like I probably have Too Short, The Weeknd, and Gene Aiko probably in the car right
now. That's it, huh?
Yeah.
And got like a wide selection in there.
Yeah, definitely. I even play some rock too, man.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you well-rounded. Have you traveled out the country to DJ?
I have not traveled out the country to DJ. That's the next goal I would want to do, like, in the future. In the future
when stuff opens back up.
In the future, yeah. I have traveled, like, I think the furthest I've traveled to DJ is probably like, it was supposed to be San Francisco last year, but that went out the door.
Yeah.
But like, besides that, it's San Diego. But yeah. And
now, how far is that from you?
For San Diego, it's probably like 3.5 hours from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mainly you stayed
2.5.
Mainly you stayed local in your area.
I stay local in the area because there's a lot of bars around the area and like venues that we would work at and rotate at. But majority of my gigs were like, making sure like in the LA area, like San Fernando Valley.
Yeah.
Ventura County, around that area.
Is it a lot of competition out there?
You know what? It's funny you say that because the guys that I grew up with ended up getting gigs too in the area, and they're in charge of like what's it called? They also do the same that I do. They book places too as well.
Right.
So it's good to see like your peers also with your family, like your friends you grew up with, like, hey man, you're doing your thing too, like cool. And some are booking the area. Now with that, to answer your question earlier, the competition, there have been times where we've come across, my buddies told me where he's come across other guys like trying to take gigs, residencies from under their feet. But GMs or managers who some who are loyal be like, hey man, this guy wants to take your gig, and he's like, oh wow, and
really,
yeah,
they was snaking like that.
Snaking. And was even more crazy, this is a heads up to all the DJs, everyone listening right now, tell me if you agree with me, was even more crazy, they were undercutting the price.
Yeah, I've seen that too much. And it hurts everybody. So, because now you don't get your price.
Yeah.
And now either you're gonna not get that job or kind of bring your price down because of someone moron.
Yeah.
I keep it clean here.
Yeah.
That underpriced, and now everybody's looking at DJs like that.
Yep. And see, look, even Tommy Lee agrees.
Yeah, definitely. Facts.
Yeah. And Chris, my number one go-to party song, I have too many, man, but you know what? You know what song is always the one that gets everyone in a good mood? It's either September by Earth, Wind & Fire or Got to Give It Up at Marvin Gaye.
Wow. So you play for that crowd, the older crowd.
I have a cool little matchup with well, not matchup, but more like the sample that what's his name took Robin Thicke from Blurred Lines. I mix it with that with some modern stuff,
Okay.
But it's like I don't have like the number one, but I always have like certain ones that I'm like, oh, this time it's about to drop at this time.
Depending on what type of
at midnight by Belva DeVoe.
Yep, depending on what type of people you watching. What's up? DJ Cam is checking in. What's going on, bro?
Look, DJ Cam.
freeagentradio.com. That's the plug.
I feel like we gotta have some sound effects.
I know, right? It's coming soon. But yeah, man. So where do you see yourself going now? What's happening? What do you see coming up now?
Oh, well, what I see coming up now, I definitely want to show more to the youth, like, hey, if you want to get into this, for those who want to do it, like, hey, like, this is how it is. I know I'm not trying to like place everyone in a certain like category, but I know a lot of DJs who are younger are like, yeah, I want to get on board, you want to jump on, you know, like, and sometimes you catch those kind of DJs that like, and you put them in like, okay, here, you're gonna go perform in front of like 2,000 people. I want you at this time, and they kind of like freeze. Yeah, they're like, wait, what? And like sometimes they'll like because they're so used to being like just DJing at a small party or like with your friends,
somebody's apartment. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but when I'm gonna put you in a venue and like, come on, like I want you to be also have confidence in yourself, but also know how to like the key thing. Another DJ told me as I was getting in the middle of the game actually, like he said, best advice I can ever give you is when you're DJing, don't always look down, because look at your audience. Because you can always be looking down, but if you see an empty dance floor, if you see no one nodding, like something's up. So it's almost like your duty to give them like a journey, a musical journey, and to make them vibe out. At the same time, it's like you're like the navigator. You're taking on this journey. So that was the best advice that if someone ever give me, like, read the crowd. So I give that same advice that my mentors gave me. I give that to the youth. And basically the next thing would be like, hey, like as I get older, like kind of like not necessarily pass down the torch, but pass my knowledge down to them, and expand my business, and to the point where like I'll DJ stuff here and there, but have like a new team, I guess. Not a new team, but more like an up and coming team. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the rookies.
So now it seems like things are starting to open back up slowly. Are you comfortable, going into venues? I know you went into one the other day.
Yeah, I went to the other one day. I was comfortable there because it's outside.
Okay.
So right now, obviously, a lot of venues are not available to be inside. So being outside was cool. So I felt like somewhat like not as paranoid, but still with concern. But I felt a little more comfortable because the stage is like elevated, like about like 15 feet in the air. Not in the air, but like up away from it. So I felt like, okay, no one's around me. I'm wearing, I have my mask, all that stuff. Then I also sanitize my gear.
Yeah.
Definitely. But it made me feel like somewhat okay. I'm still taking precaution, but far as in like going into a club right now, I might have to, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but it might. I'm not sure if I'll jump that gun yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you do like iPhone update software, you let everyone else update the software, then you do it later.
Yeah. Don't be first.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So I am just like, thank you for coming to. I know it's still daylight probably where you are right now. The sun is out. You said it was windy earlier.
Yeah, it's windy. It's like I can hear the wind right now.
It's been dark out here for a couple of hours.
Yeah. How cold is it?
We had a good day with the weather.
Yeah.
But it's been, I had a couple of other DJs. Well, one other DJ from the West Coast. He's from San Diego.
Oh, okay.
And he did his thing. So now, as a veteran DJ now, you said you wanted to mentor newer DJs. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them as a new DJ that's coming into the world of music and DJing this new music, especially? What do you tell that DJ?
Know your creativeness. At the end of the day, pay your dues. Pay respect to the culture of it. Don't do it just like, oh, because I want to be, I think that's what I come across a lot with a lot of DJs who are younger. Like they think that like, oh man, I'm gonna be like, it's cool to have that dream and that thrive too, but know what you're doing and respect the culture with it. And from there, also make sure you don't like, if you get an opportunity to go to DJ somewhere, don't undercut don't undercut the business.
Oh, thank you for saying that. A lot of, I don't know what be in their mind with doing that.
Yeah.
Whether it's getting a job. And I had a discussion with another DJ before about, the undercutting thing. And I'm like, let me play devil's advocate. What about the person that need to pay their cell phone or their water bill or something now, and they'll just take anything?
Yeah, right. I think it's almost like a gray area in that situation, because I've come across, a few of my buddies who were like, during this whole pandemic, they lost their jobs, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, and I'm like, hey man, I have this gig, it pays this much, like I can't do it, I'm already booked up doing this, like I did like my first, I never thought I would say this in the year of 2020, I did my first virtual prom, but I remember doing that, and I'm like, my buddy needed some, he's like, oh yeah, I'm like, hey man, like you want to do this gig, it's only for 3 hours, like it's for a quick little birthday party. He was like she just needs someone there. He's like, it's $300. He was like, oh my god, that's gonna pay for my car payment. I'm like, there you go, cool. So I looked at it like, oh, cool, it's a help in need, cool, like, and but at the same time, it's like I always tell them like, hey, listen, tell them like next time they want a DJ, like it's not going to be like that. It's almost like, hey, I did this as a, not necessarily like a favor, but like I, thank you, like,
yeah,
I needed, and you helped me out for what it was, kind of thing.
Yeah. So out there, what is the running price range for a DJ out there, since you live in a pinkies up neighborhood?
I know. Well, I don't, but yeah, but they don't. It all depends, man, because in all honesty, I'm not going to even sugarcoat it. A lot of bars and certain like clubs don't pay that much.
I've heard that. That's everywhere.
And yeah, even out there in New York too. Yeah. See, like, yeah, they don't pay that much. It's cool, it's fun. But I think where you really get like the business is either doing corporate gigs, private gigs, or weddings. Obviously, each one of those are different. Weddings, we all know that's a full shift.
Yep.
Corporate gigs are great because it's high clientele, and they'll pay a certain amount of money. Like you can, I'm like I'll give you an example. I did a corporate gig, and it was like I was there for 4 hours, and it was a holiday party, and I got paid $2 Cool.
Okay.
But I'm constantly playing a little bit of everything, and I work with the if they have a coordinator or with the person who hired me there for the event, they have like certain things like where they're like, okay, we're gonna do this raffle, so it's up to you also to like entertain the crowd. Hey, everybody, we're doing the raffle and stuff like that too, because remember, there's some DJs out there who don't like being on the microphone,
right? I'm one of them.
But it's all different too. And sometimes I have friends, like nothing's wrong with that. But there's also like a DJ who doesn't want to be on the mic. They'll bring a friend who's a professional MC to do that stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it all depends. Like you could do like a quick birthday from like, your sister's birthday or something. I don't know if you want to charge your sister, but $600. I don't know. I think it all depends. I'll leave it like this. I think it leaves you to like, what do you think I'm worth? What's my skill set worth to you?
Yeah.
At the same time, like, don't give me $100 because I find that disrespectful. Like, no,
yes, definitely. That wasn't even worth the getting up.
Yeah, I'm like, no, like, please. I could go sell like 2 records, a Biggie signed or something on eBay right now.
And get $100.
I'm gonna sell that though, guys.
We got DJ Fame checking in. What's up, DJ Fame?
What up, DJ Fame? But yeah.
Oh man. Oh, Tommy Lee saying we going to take a trip out there. We were out there a couple of years ago. Me and Tommy, not a couple of years, more like 8-9 years.
So like a decade ago.
Oh, maybe 2012. I believe we were out there. Okay. We were in LA and we drove to Vegas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we made a trip out of it. And I think we were planning on going back, but life gets in the way.
Yeah.
Funds ain't right sometime.
Absolutely, man.
But definitely we want to get back there.
Yeah.
We got Shice, the talk of the town, in the building. What's up, Shice?
Yeah, man. Let me know if you guys come out.
Yeah, definitely. I will track you down. I got all your information.
There you
go. One last question, or maybe a last question. Who do you know needs to be interviewed that got stories?
Who I know who needs to be interviewed?
Huh?
Repeat that. Who do I know that a DJ that I know that should be interviewed that has a lot of stories?
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyone from my DJ crew.
All right, let's set it up.
Yeah, like shout out to my homie. Actually, shout out to my crew, Barnyard Mix Show crew. But my homie Exist, my homie Spitnobi, those guys are veterans in the game. They've actually toured and like traveled the world.
Yeah,
and they also done a lot of battles too, a lot of DJ battles. But they have stories, man. I know my buddy Spinobi. He has stories. Like he still tells me stories that I'm like, what? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Let's make that happen, bro. So
I got you.
You talked about the radio. That's why I said it may be the last question. You talked about the radio station.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Well, we have this one show that we're going to start streaming again. We took a year hiatus because of COVID.
Yeah.
But it's called Barnyard Mix Show.
Barnyard Mix Show.
Yep. You can look it up on YouTube. You see some of our clips. Right now, we are doing these pop-up episodes on IG and Facebook Live and Twitch. And it's
somebody find that and put the link in the chat for me.
Barnyard Mix Show.
Barnyard Mix Show.
Yeah. You can find us on YouTube. Then we're trying to gear up some stuff coming up. We have a lot of guests on there too from all around the world that we had the past few seasons.
Okay.
But yeah, like we're gonna start some stuff, and it's a really cool show because we basically showcase the culture of turntables and DJs.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Same thing.
We had one episode of all the female DJs. It was pretty cool. And they got down.
The same thing I'm looking to do here is, not getting the big name DJs, but getting the DJs that's been out there doing their thing for 30 and 40 years and nobody ever heard of them.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's something exactly.
I hate to say it, but we never heard of you until I went on the NAMM thing, did that, and started just connecting with people.
Yeah, and that's such a beautiful thing, doing that. And I'm like, oh, that's great. And that's why as soon as I saw the email, I'm like, wait, this is real.
You thought it was a fake, huh?
And I was like, wait a minute. I'm like, they actually want to talk.
I got another couple of DJs that's coming on from out there in the West Coast.
Okay.
One's Washington State, and I don't remember where the other one is from, but I know it's West Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, just connecting and making this DJ world a little bit smaller, and that's because we need each other in a way. Like you said, we come out there, look me up.
Right.
That way we got a guide already. Yeah. Somebody that's been on and that we're familiar with now.
Right.
We got a guide and can take us places that we don't know.
No, and introduce you to other DJs, other people.
Other DJs and people, we may have get a gig out there.
Yeah.
Like, we need some equipment. Where can we get some?
Yeah.
I rent it to you.
Yeah.
And that, it's just making this thing, a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you coming on. Any last questions? Put it in for DJ Cali Los. Oh man, this was great, bro. This was great.
This is fun, man.
I think every DJ, whether you're local, whether you're just getting started, has a story. So and I'm looking to hear them. So let's hook that up with your DJ peoples and get them on for April, May, and June.
Heck yeah. What did Tommy Lee say?
He's more than welcome to come to the East Coast.
Oh, I'm like, what?
Like, what is E?
I'm like, what?
I guess he ran out of letters.
Yeah.
Nah, that's my boy.
Let's go. Yeah.
Come to the East Coast.
When I go out there, man, I want to get some. You got to show me to all the good food spots. I want to get some good grub.
Yeah, it's millions of them out there. I'm in Virginia right now.
But, the VA.
Yeah.
Yeah, the VA.
But from uptown, the New York area.
I always think of the Clips and Timberland.
Yo, it's a lot. It's where a lot of stuff started. So
heck yeah.
They got the hip hop museum and everything. We got Yankee Stadium.
That's right. Oh man. Right. Oh.
Funny. So thank you, bro.
Thank you.
Tell everybody where they can reach out to you.
Everyone can reach out to me on Instagram, Twitter, DJ Cali Los, anything at DJ Cali Los at Twitter and Instagram, and also on Facebook at DJ Cali Los LA Facebook. And for those who want mixes, if you want to hear mixes, you should go to Mixcloud. Like you mentioned Mixcloud earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, I forgot to give you that link, but yeah.
Yeah, you didn't give me that one.
Yeah, so it's DJ Cali Los at Mixcloud.
Yeah, go follow him for everybody that's on Mixcloud. I will definitely. I'm following you or not?
I think so. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I'll double check because a lot of us are gonna start mixing on Mixcloud now.
That's right.
I already been paying for it for a couple of months.
You're like, time to use it more.
Actually, this is being streamed to Mixcloud now.
Oh wow!
I'm streaming to like 10 different places right now.
Oh, okay, the multi-platform.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very, very cool. So thank you, bro. Any last words for us? Mostly East Coast people.
Tuning in and look me up if you're out here in Cali. Let me know where you're at.
Roger that.
Show around.
DJ Cali Los. Y'all look him up.
Oh, y'all. Peace.
All right. Peace, bro. So this has been the DJ interview with Harry the Big Dog. And we went West Coast today. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you everybody for who is watching the replay. And we will see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. ish Eastern time.